Well, hello. Aren't you all a good looking crew tonight? Thanks for joining me. The old pick. Yes, here's what I found. I actually had this one on the stand and I just didn't, I guess I didn't look at it. But I don't really care for this thing. I think it's made out of bone or something. And it's kind of weird. Freaks me out. So I have this one. It's kind of worn out. Dunlop. Pretty fat. And I have this old trusty pick that I use. I got to put a link here so I could get some endorsements or something. This is what Tracy Kim uses. I'll put the link. Seriously, if you want to buy it, use my code. I'll get 30 cents. 1.14. And this Dunlop. I do like the weekend for the Gypsy Jazz picks. C.R. Marshall, we had a great lesson today. You're part of the reason for this lesson here. We're going to talk about some arpeggios. I had some really great diamond tier lessons today. Actually, all my diamond tier lessons are awesome. So thank you all for being diamond tier members. I know that many of you will be watching this, and many of you on Patreon, and some of you not on Patreon. And hopefully you'll consider joining the community. It's really amazing. And I love it. I get inspired and I want to do these live streams. I want to share some of these ideas that come out of these lessons. One of the lessons today is on arpeggios. This early morning, my early morning lesson, my 8:30 a.m. lesson. It's kind of a nonstop. I'm a little kind of a machine, I guess you could say. Arpeggios was the focus, playing the changes. So I'm just going to continue on with this series. For those of you who've been working with me on the live streams, I've been really going back to some of the important foundation, what I think is important when I teach jazz guitar. And it's, first of all, you learn your grip shapes, you learn your bass notes on the sixth string and on the fifth string. This will help you with your arpeggios, by the way, you guys. And I'm going to clarify like how to practice some of this stuff. And yeah, my cats are crazy right now. So they're hiding all my picks because they know I'm using the picks that I found. So grip chord shapes, we're not going to review that. Well, we are, because I'm going to show you how to relate it to the arpeggios. Three note shell voicings, that's a great trick for comping, hack for comping essentially. What else did we talk about? We talked about pentatonics last week. So hopefully you've been checking out all those live streams. I've been leaving most of them up on YouTube. If you're a Patreon member, they do get archived on Patreon. And if you want to join me on YouTube, you can become a YouTube member to get access to all of my video lessons. But on Patreon, you get access to my PDFs, tabs, sound slice practice videos, bonus video lessons. As you all know, there's over 4,600 Patreon exclusive posts and lessons. And we got Rome joining in. Rome, welcome. So I hope you're all doing well. Let's get to work here. Today's a practice session, so please grab your guitar. It's a lesson, but it's also a practice session, so please grab your axe. Today I've got my Gypsy Jazz guitar here. I've got my Strat, so if you want me to play some nylon string or Strat or whatever, just let me know. It'll take time for me just to kind of grab it, though. But so right now I'm just going to show you the basics of this study. Please grab the PDFs. I put some free ones in the link in the description. Again, there's thousands of PDFs. I don't know. I haven't counted them all, but I'm assuming there's at least 1,000 of PDFs on Patreon of worksheets and exercises, studies, solos, etudes, etc. This is what I put in there today, just for specifically for this live stream lesson right now that you're all joining in with me on, is the easy arpeggio method. Specifically, though, what I'm going to talk about is what I call face value. I did put one arpeggio study that has some subs on there, the diminished sub specifically, and I usually label that with dim 7 sub or tritone sub so you know what's going on. But that's kind of the second part of it. So what I would recommend, first of all, is that you can do face value. So grab the PDF. And I'll probably load up something on the screen here too. I love doing the screen shares now, but let me just kind of walk you through this because I could load up my sound slice practice videos, which is how I like to teach when I teach my lessons, is for students to be able to see the music too and to see me at the same time. So here, you know I was going to do this. Here's the grip chord. Oh yeah, if you like these, don't forget to do this. This actually is what helps my my channel and keeps this going. So you got to make sure you do that. And if you really, really like it, then you can do the tip thing. There's a little a little dollar sign there, and then you can do that. And hey, I appreciate that too. So here's the basic idea of this: is that we have a G major 7 grip shape, G7. I was going to come back to this: G minor 7, G minor 7 flat 5, and G dim 7. Okay, then the arpeggio that would go with it. And here's how I wrote it out on the worksheet that you can grab for free in the description: G major 7, G dominant 7, G minor 7, G minor 7 flat 5, and then G dim 7. And back to G major 7 and G6. And that's kind of a stretch, so you have to get used to that if you like that. Or you could just do this. There's many different fingerings. This is just one fingering route, so I wanted to say that too. I mean, this is not, some books, they have every single fingering. This is a very particular method that I use quite a bit. So that's what I'm sharing here. Instead of saying, try out 10 different major 7 fingerings, I'm just showing you one. I do love the diagonal method, and it gets you across the fretboard. There's other fingerings and shapes that we can do, and you can kind of think of it based off the cage system too. But again, this is just major 7, all off of G, and I would really say play the chord G7, G minor 7. I'm going to the 7th degree, minor 7 flat 5, and dim 7. Dim 7 has a 6. It's a double flat 7. That's what it's called theoretically, but you could just think of it as a 6th degree. Let me say hello to some folks that joined in. Jim, Yukon, welcome. Chris, Yehoser, welcome. We want to be able to outline any chord. If the chord says A minor 7, D7, G major 7, C major 7, F sharp half down, B7, E minor 7, E7, A minor 7. Now I'm just working through odd and leaves, through arpeggios. And just doing what I call face value. So the term face value basically just means this: if you see A minor 7, you play A minor 7. You don't play A minor 6. You don't play C major 7. You play A minor 7. And remember last week's lesson, if you watched it, the grip shapes, simplifying their jazz standards so that you can play any tune. We want to do this with arpeggios, just like we do with chords. So again, if the chart says D7 flat 9 sharp 5, you're going to play D7. That's it. Don't worry about any of those alterations, okay? So be able to do that first. That's my spiel. But let's do this practice routine on the 5th string root. So we have C major 7, and that's just one octave. I'm going to go a little bit slower. And please grab your guitar and make sure that you can do this. We have the root, 3, 5, 7, and go backwards. Okay. And I often kind of slide into that major 7. And sometimes I even add on the root or the 9. I'll go or maybe da dee da da da. That's a 9. And we'll add those on later. But I just wanted to show you that sometimes I'll do that. I don't mean to, but it's just like part of my fingerings now that I'll add on the 9. So we got C major 7 and hit the chord. C dominant 7, hit the chord. C minor 7. I'm stopping right at the 7th for this. C minor 7 flat 5, hit the chord. Flat 5. And then that's the difference from the minor 7 to the minor 7 flat 5. And then dim. And then back to C major 7. C6 is this. And again, you can do it like this if you want to. And that's C6. See that chord here? That's a 6. And I know many of you don't like the shape and you do it like this or like this. And that's totally fine too. Okay, you can do that. Or you can do this if you want to do a 3-note voicing. Of course, you can go to the 6th string root for the 6th chord. C minor 6. If you play Django style gypsy jazz, you love the minor six. That's a big part of the flavors of minor six for swing music and gypsy swing especially. Yeah, if you're just tuning in, we're just talking all about the easy arpeggio method, and so let me talk about the word easy. Easy basically means, and I kind of just morphed my teaching a little bit over the years to simplify things for students. The easy part of it means just stay in one octave. That's what I mean by easy. It's like you don't have to think 3 octaves or 2 octaves, or just make a lot of music in one octave. Ideally, again, you can start on the root, or you could do face value, or you could do some superimposing arpeggios. This is kind of a live interactive lesson, so feel free to type in the chat if you have any questions. I might grab some water really fast. No questions? Let's continue. So again, then I wrote it on the 4th and the 3rd string roots. Okay, that might be more than we need to do today, but this is just a good introduction for you. G major 7, G dominant 7, G minor 7, G minor 7 flat 5, G diminished 7, G6, G minor 6, major 6, minor 6. Alan, welcome. Did you get to see the eclipse today? Nothing here in Portland, just rain and gray clouds. They're only gray for a day. All right, so that was the 4th string root. We're going to go through this all again, so please have your guitar in your hand and do this with me, because this is a good marker. I'm like, ooh, I need to work on this, or ooh, I need help on the diminish, or ooh, I need help. Just take notes for yourself. Oh, awesome, Chris. Lucky you got to experience that. Major 7. This is the higher octave. And sometimes I'll write out my arpeggios. You'll see this actually on the 7th and 6th string. I went like this. That's not easy arpeggio, so don't do that. Start off with easy. Even though I wrote all of that, I would recommend that you just stay with one octave so that you can make a lot of music. Oh, wow. That's great, Chris. Partial eclipse in Atlanta. Thanks, Keith. So here we go. Hit the C major 7 chord. Now I'm starting on the 3rd string root. We have C majors. Check out the triad. This. C major 7 is this. C dominant 7. C minor 7. C minor 7 flat 5. C dim 7. And yeah, you kind of do need to know your formulas again. This goes back to our lesson last week on 7th chords and 6th chords. Know your 5 types of 7th chords. Major 7, dominant 7, minor 7 flat 5, and the dim 7. On charts, on songs, you don't often see the dim 7, but we're going to use it quite a bit as a superimposing type of substitution, meaning you see E7 flat 9 or E7, you play G sharp dim. Many of you have been taking my gypsy jazz course and classes and etudes and stuff. You know that I always say diminish it. Diminish it. That's a cool trick for the 2-5. So you play the 2, and then you diminish it, and that's a sub for the 5. Then you play the 2, you diminish it. You can even play the 1 on the tonic, the diminish, and then undiminish it. Undiminish it. You rarely say that, but diminish, resolution. So that's the diminish. You can do diminish everywhere. So even if you don't see it on the chart, that's what we want to learn to do. We want to learn these tricks that when we play a G7 chord, we could go like this. We could diminish things. That's how you get some really beautiful harmonies. You play diminished first, and then resolve it. G7, go has to be diminished, and then that's how you create some movement, some inner voice leading, is by throwing all these beautiful diminished passing chords. So we really want to master both the diminished chord and the diminished arpeggio, even if you don't see it on the chart, because you're going to be using it so much. But again, before you learn all the tricks and all the subs, which of course I have videos on Patreon and all that stuff, it's in my chord melody arrangements too. But before you do that, make sure you could just do the 5 types of 7th chords, the 2 6 chords. Okay, that's what's essential. And on the guitar, we want to be able to start on the 6-string root. This is the easy method: G major 7, G major 7, G major 7, C major 7, C major 7. So I have those 4 shapes on the 6-string root: G major 7, C major 7 on the 5th, G major 7 on the 4th, and C major 7 on the 3rd. Just even that exercise alone will help you get those arpeggio shapes so that they're under your fingertips. And again, this is a very particular fingering. You might have to modify it to fit your hand, stretching wise. I don't want you to hurt yourself. So, hey, Gail, welcome. Total Eclipse. Wow. Cool. Jealous. And we just want to make some music just from those arpeggio chord tones. The hard part of it is to keep it going in the progression, outlining the progression. That's where I have etudes to help. And then examples like what we're talking about. You got to use it and practice it and jam. So again, let's go through these arpeggios, because that's what today's live stream is about. Just making sure you have your 7th chords and 6th chord arpeggios down. Okay, we're going to go through it on all 4 sets of strings separately. Basically, we're going to go through the cycle of 4th. So G major 7, C major 7, F major 7, and then B flat major 7. Okay, so we're going to do this: G major 7, C major 7, F major 7, and B flat major 7. Okay, let me do that again. G major 7, C major 7, F major 7. Same fingering, that's why I shifted it. And B flat major 7. So be able to do that and then go through the dominant 7, then go through the minors. It's a big study. And I don't have that in order written out. So I'll have that written out on Patreon, because I think that's a good one. It's all, right now I have it all in separate sheets. But let's now apply it through one of those songs that I passed out, either Autumn Leaves or Girl from Ipanema. Let's do the Girl from Ipanema if you guys want to take a look at that. And maybe I'll load up my sound slice and demonstrate that. Or Autumn Leaves. Let's do the classic Autumn Leaves. Why not? I take it back. So Autumn Leaves it is. And it's cool that I could do these screen shares with you all, just like I'm doing my classes and workshops essentially, but you guys don't have to pay. Take a look. So right here, I've got my Autumn Leaves number 1. Oh, is this number 1 or number 2? If it's number, oh yeah, shoot, I think this is number. Here, I'll make it number 1 for you really fast. You're probably wondering, what's the difference? 1, number 2. Number 1 is face value, and I do the same thing when I did the word study for audience. For those of you who are diving into that, face value. You see A minor 7, you play A minor 7. You see D7, you play D7, etc. You're not doing any subbing, no subs, just face value. That makes it easy. I really recommend that at first. So check it out here. A minor 7. It will make sure you know the chord progression. A minor 7, D7, drift by my window, C major 7, the autumn leaves, B7, of red and gold, E7, I see your lips, The sunburned kisses, the sunburned hands I used to hold. Arpeggios, 1, 2, 3, 4. Like we're walking a bass line. And again, the autumn leaves drift by my window. That's good practice. The autumn leaves of red and gold. I see your lips, the summer kisses. I see the hands I used to hold. And then we go on to the B section. And then, if you want to get fancier, the falling leaves drift by my window. This much harder to sing than to play. So here I chose B7 down here, but I noticed that I wrote it here. So again, choose whether you want to do it on the 6th string or the 5th string root. Have those shapes down, but again, now what I'm demonstrating here is the application. How do we practice these? Just, and now it's just changing the direction. I actually went to the 4th string and 5th string root there just for the demonstration. We want to be able to play it starting on the 6th string root, on the 5th string root, on the 4th string, or on the 3rd string. That's why I was playing around with it. And I do have these studies on Patreon already. You can also, if you're not on Patreon and you want these PDFs, I did put a package that's for sale in the description if you want to just get some of these PDFs. There's like 25 of them. So a lot of the etudes and stuff that are in there that I'm talking about. This can make a great technique study. Okay. Let's take the girl from me, and then we want to do some diminished sub and all that, but I'm not going to talk about that. So I'll make this one short. I know it's getting late for you guys. I've got another private coming up too. So let's talk about The Girl from Ipanema. We all love that song. And this one I put in the description as well, the PDF for free. So G, F major 7. Now, commonly, a lot of people will play G7 flat 5. Don't worry about it. Just play G7. G minor 7, G flat 7, flat 5. You're going to solo just using G flat 7. No flat 5. Don't even worry about that. That's the A section. Minor, G flat 7, F major 7, G flat 7. And again, I'm going ascending and descending 1 octave. That's the easy method. And this is all face value. Now, for fun, I might improvise using these shapes. B section. B7. F sharp minor. D7. G minor 7. E flat 7. A minor to D7. I did a little sub trick to diminish. Last A. G7. G minor 7, C7. I tritone sub the tritone sub. The chord is G flat 7, right? That everybody plays. But if you do the tritone sub, it's C7. So you can do C7. That's your regular 2/5. But Joe Beam uses tritone sub built into his song. So you can always go back to C7. And then next octave. Now I did flat the 5. Here's G7. Here's G7 flat 5. So you just learn where those alterations are. If you want sharp 5, you do G, and here's a 5. So you just, okay. So you just kind of learn where those alter notes are. Sorry, I'm just hacking away here on this guitar. But F major 7, G7, G minor 7, C7, F major, G flat 7, F major 7, G7, G minor 7, diminish it. And again, that was just, and I diminished it. I wanted to show you, like, learn these little sub tricks. Subs are great because they make life easy and they're easy to do and they sound good. So it's like once you learn these subs, you probably can't stop doing them and you won't stop doing them. So I'll share some of those. And I did include one of them for you, the Autumn Leaves one, the etude in there. But the subs are great. That's why you'll hear me say diminish it. So Autumn, the girl from Nima gets a little bit scary there, a little hairy in the bridge section, right? Do you guys agree? What do you think? Oh, but I watch her so sadly. A sharp mind, you got to keep track of all those. D7, G minor 7, E flat 7, A minor, diminish it, G minor, diminish it, F major 7, G7 with a flat 5, G minor 7, blues, G7, G minor 7, G flat. Jeffrey, you're late. Anyways, Girl with Benin was too much fun to jam on. I'll start throwing in some blues licks and stuff like that. But so again, the arpeggio method is just a nice approach to playing the changes. No scales involved. No scales. No scales. No scales. I'll say that again. No scales involved when doing arpeggios. No scales. I said that 3 or 4 times. Why do I like the arpeggio method? No scales are involved. That's why I like it. You can hear the changes go by. You just got to be creative to some degree so it doesn't sound like it's an arpeggio exercise, and be melodic. Sing what you play. The hard part, though, is keeping track of the chord at all times. But that's why you guys are here, to play the changes, to play jazz. I mean, that's the difference from rock and blues and jazz. Is like jazz, a lot of these standards that you're loving and wanting to learn to bring out the harmony, these beautiful details, you have to play the changes. So this is, to me, the best method. Just learn 1 octave arpeggio. Start off with face value before you start subbing, even though that it's very tempting to do the dim 7 sub all the time. Diminish it. But it's important just to stay with the face value too. I hope you guys enjoyed today's lesson on arpeggios. Check out all of the materials on Patreon, all of my lessons. There's tons of them. Thanks again. And Jeffrey, don't make excuses. It's okay. It's the eclipse messed with everybody. I think they thought it was nighttime and went to bed early. So seriously, have a good one. Thanks, Rome. Thanks, Chris Hoser, Malmsteen. Say hi to Ingve for me. Have a good week, you guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Cheers.